workers' unions. The youth encouraged to seek out opportunities in agricultural sector. And in sports, the men's qualify for the Women Africa Cup of Nations to be held in Morocco next year. Good evening and a very warm welcome to you. Government says it is committed to fostering a progressive and cordial relationship with workers' unions. President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi highlighted this during the official opening of the Botswana Public Employees Union BOPEU 2023 Central Executive Committee meeting in Phalapehe today. Utsidile Onkabetse reports.
Emerging market economies demand rapid growth and high productivity, which call for transformative approaches and more progressive labor markets, a priority government furthers through her reset agenda.
Social inclusion and decent work for all during the envisaged transition requires that all actors in the world of work come together to devise new interventions and solutions through meaningful social dialogue. This is the negotiation of new jobs for the future and their conditions. A just transition without workers' participation. Otherwise, we'll only be talking rhetorically about transition without the just element, the just underlying element. That is why government is committed to ensuring that there is a continued cordial relationship between itself and workers. In the same token, there can never be a just transition without mindset change, which is a trajectory that we have chosen in order to genuinely deliver our transformation agenda for Botswana. We need to reflect deeply on our value system. And when I say mindset change, it's everybody, government included.
Alive to the various challenges facing the labor market, trade unions such as BOPEU stand firm in their commitment to the betterment of members' welfare.
You will agree with me that collective bargaining is the nerve center of any trade union. Collective bargaining and industrial relations are the oxygen that gives life to a trade union. As the leadership, we continue to jealously protect our right to collective bargaining. We consistently engage with the employer party on various issues of mutual concern for the benefit of our members. In our analysis, the overall collective bargaining and industrial relations climate in Botswana is improving gradually. We need to appreciate, though not all is rosy, but at least we are moving in the right direction.
Because a reset and a change in mindset, particularly in the management of human resources. Efficient administration is vital, given that public service workers are pivotal in implementing government policies that contribute directly to the nation's development agenda.
Government values active participation, cooperation and engagement with the private sector and other stakeholders to be critical to enhancing growth in all labor market value chains, ultimately determining economic and social progress. Utsidile Onkabetse, BTV News.
Speaking at the closure of the three-day Botswana Travel and Tourism Expo, Minister of Youth, Gender, Sports and Culture, Mr. Dumiso Rakare, said his ministry will work with Botswana Tourism Organization alongside the Ministry of Environment and Tourism to uncover more cultural activities and opportunities that will aid the development of cultural tourism products in the country. Kitso Taimane reports.
The Expo promotes value chain development through involvement of local and international tour operators and tourists as well as village leaders. Moreover, it will aid in business investments, exploration of different business ideas, and develop cohesion between the industries.
It is an expo where we have shared business ideas. It has been a theater of like-minded travel and tourism professionals, industry investors, and industry promoters. I see preconceived business ideas accomplished, and I am in a place where I see new friendships, and I see a spirit of partnership.
The BTO management states that sights are being set on cultural tourism to increase international tourists coming to the country. This will ultimately benefit the local operators by boosting their profits and the economic growth.
The UNWTO Statistics Barometer, Volume 21, Issue 3, September 2023, has estimated that 700 million tourists traveled internationally between January and July 2023, about 43% more than in the same months of 2022. The indication is that as both operators and agents, there is a big opportunity to tap into these numbers, offering cultural activities and events, youth, gender, sport, and culture. Shoulder the responsibility of selling Setswana culture, which we are actively engaged in its development and protection, while BTO exposes and sells to yourselves.
To further improve the tourist experience, Air Botswana is said to be currently working with different airlines globally, negotiating routes which will position Botswana even more as the premium tourism destination.
Dispatched a team from our head office. We visited all our stations. The whole intention of that was to engage and see how we can improve on our services. Also picked that interline with other major players in the industry is a very important factor. Currently, we have 9 interline partners. We were finalizing our customer service standards, will be released this coming week.
That is used to bring under the one roof international agents and local travel operators to share knowledge and expertise.
This expo brought together travel operators, international agents to build future relationships and networks that will aid in growing the travel and tourism industry. Kitso Temane, Botswana Television, Kasane.
The youth have been implored to be versatile and embrace government's roadmap of growing the agricultural sector, as it is considered to be a gateway to employment creation, ensuring food sufficiency and growing the economy. This was said by Johnny Mayor, Ms. Olga Ditsie, at the first annual Botswana Youth Agribusiness Forum, Emmanuel Rapowa.
Botswana's roadmap is well outlined in the agrarian sector and advancing the trajectory goals for agribusinesses and value chains is epitomized to reward farmers handsomely. The due diligence and zeal of youth is an assurance that the future of this country is promising.
And to see how long we're telling people, especially young people, the direction where the leadership is going, is quite commendable. I know, I came here, and what you have done is very great.
I am a heritage farmer, meaning that any and everything that I engage myself in, there is a responsibility attached to it that exceeds me, my passion and my vision, which is to lay a foundation and platforms available for upcoming generations.
Be knowledgeable and the right aptitude to keep up and navigate challenging experiences that often reverse profits in the agricultural sector has been highlighted as cause for breakthrough in a sector that often tests one's mettle.
Record keeping
management is very key, how you structure Masaka, and then also to have a mentor or
to someone who you there's a problem here, what can I do? And also engage with other farmers or short course or day training or hands-on course. That's very important. We learn every day.
These youth are well positioned to make it in an enterprising and rewarding agrarian sector, especially when the government is committed with tailor-made programs to support the sector. Emmanuel Rapua, BTV News, Joining.
Health and wellness are said to be important in the productivity of organizations. This was reiterated by different health and wellness professionals at a wellness event organized by Kwanokeng Oil in Maung. Lovemore Mario.
Employees working in petroleum industry are at risk as they work in highly flammable areas. Therefore, being of sound mind during duty is of utmost importance. In alignment with their social and corporate strategy, Kwanokeng Oil organized a wellness event at their premises to remind their employees about the importance of health and wellness in the workplace.
What we have as assets, the petrol lane, heated papa. Ya botsogo ja mmereki wa rona papa ya botsogo ja mmereki ya rona re beile ko pele go gaisa le tsone tse re na le tsone e le dikoloi di na le ka gore tsone tseo di tlhokomelwa ke motho a tsogile sentle a gona motho ka batla go tlhokomela dilo tsa motho ena a sa tsoga sentle
betso botsogo boitekanelo and safety pabalesego should be the cornerstone of any organization or industry.
Different stakeholders, among them BOFWA, Ngami DHMT and BOCAPE, addressed the employees on various wellness issues.
The benefits of wellness in the workplace. It boosts morale, employee morale and positivity. So, say Kwanokeng ba se dirileng gompieno se botlhokwa thata. Ladies
and gentlemen, let's embrace simple yet powerful habits. Whether it's a brisk walk, aerobics, dance, swimming, drinking more water, as eating healthy food.
Your choices, the major risk factors that we collectively NCD. But the risk factors
Kwanokeng Oil, which employs over 3,000 Botswana, has promised to hold this event annually. Lovemore Mario, BTV News, Maung.
The United Nations Intergovernmental Committee on Intangible Cultural Heritage, ICH by UNESCO, which sees over 180 countries meeting every year to deliberate on ways to preserve cultural heritage, was held in Kasane recently. When speaking at the welcome ceremony, Minister of Youth, Gender, Sports and Culture, Mr. Dumiso Rakgare, said Botswana has made strides in safeguarding some of its cultural practices, such as Seperu dance and its associated practices, since joining UNESCO in 2003. Kialeboga Ewole reports.
This is the 18th session of the Intergovernmental Committee on Intangible Cultural Heritage, which gives members an opportunity to seek urgent application from UNESCO to safeguard their cultural heritage. Botswana has so far been inscribed by UNESCO to safeguard the Seperu dance and its associated practices.
This pursuit identified 94 unique ICH elements reflecting the rich tapestry of our nation's diverse ethnicities and traditions. Botswana has made remarkable strides since becoming a state party to the 2003 Convention for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage in 2010. We have inscribed 3 ICH elements in 2 districts, illustrating our commitment to safeguarding and promoting our living heritage.
The Convention has cultivated an ecosystem of actors, states, NGOs, communities, universities, Category 2 centers, united in the shared commitment to safeguard and promote the world's intangible cultural heritage around the world, always at the service of communities and their aspirations.
UNESCO said that it recognizes Africa as a global powerhouse because of its abundance of rich cultural heritage, and that is why this intergovernmental committee meeting is being hosted in Africa for the 7th time.
Africa is a global priority for UNESCO, and this marks the 7th time that committee session is being convened in the region. As the cradle of humanity, Africa serves as a powerhouse of cultural diversity, contributing immensely to the richness of our global heritage.
And this recognition safeguards this vital cultural element and galvanizes our communities towards documenting and enlivening more aspects of our living heritage. The work of practitioners, NGOs, and individuals in this regard has been instrumental, and we applaud them for their commitment and urge others to emulate them.
This meeting, which is attended by over 400 delegates, will run until the 9th of December.
Gender-based violence affects both the young and old equally. Hence, churches are the ideal place to teach children about gender equality, non-violence, and respecting others. This was said by Ms. Kisaubaka Matibe, a social protection officer in Tabong. Ms. Matibe said the church has the moral responsibility to teach children to recognize signs of gender-based violence and report to relevant authorities.
16 Days of Activism campaign is commemorated each year from the 25th of November to the 10th of December. The United Nations calls on all stakeholders, churches included, to raise awareness and advocate for change by playing an active role in the fight against gender-based violence. The Anglican Diocese of Botswana heeded this call by roping in social workers to empower children with knowledge about social ills such as gender-based violence. Let's teach children about gender-based violence from a tender age, because they never forget. Children treat people equally, and that makes them the most vulnerable of all groups. They should know that Jesus loves them, and therefore the expectation is for them to be different from the rest. Sunday school children shared what they know about gender-based violence. The important thing is for us to report immediately should anything happen. Such conferences are good for children as they teach us a lot. We are glad that boys will hear about the importance of protecting their sisters and mothers. The Anglican Diocese of Botswana teaches Sunday school based on Proverbs 22, verse 6, which instructs churches as well as parents to train up children in the way they should go, believing when they are older they will not depart from the teachings. The church believes that spiritual development helps children to acquire qualities such as respect, responsibility, empathy, as well as gratitude. BTV News, Tabong.
Member of Parliament for Muchuri East, Mr. Mabuse Pule, has urged local farmers to form associations and work in teams to improve efficiency and productivity. Mr. Pule said such collaborations could enable farmers to produce more and boost the country's food security. He made the remarks at the recent apple harvesting ceremony in Disejwane in the Gauteng district. Lizzie Klaas has more.
Wipix Garden is one of the first local orchards to harvest apples. This orchard was established in 2019 and has been running ever since growing apple trees. The orchard has now close to 1,000 apple trees. However, the owner says their business is motivated by lack of locally produced apples, as such intend to exploit that market and help the country reduce its import bill.
We are really excited ka project Thata. The first of its own kind. Maybe the owners are very much motivated and they are committed to their business. So successful. Maybe it will be an example kind of education to other farmers.
I'm very excited because I can see what productive mo di tjong kraya ka re diapole ke se di dula se re di bone go pomola tsela botswa
hectare ile 1 hela ka research ya rona e khona go tsa ditlhare di le 1033 somewhere there mo hectareng e 1 so re letsa gore re ratolose ditlhare tsa teng e simoletse gone go itomaganyetsa tsone ditlhare tsa teng gore re khona go reproduce our own seedlings. That's why we are dreaming big gore re khona gore re godise ditlhare tsa rona.
However, Ms. Ipelen Ramatlakwana from Wipix Gardens says despite the numerous challenges that they are facing as farmers, she urged other farmers not to give up on their dreams of becoming successful farmers.
I started with about 20 trees ke be ke le moga gore di dirile sente e be re ka 2021 e be ke tsenya no ditlhare tse dintsi and ke ntse ke do ke tsahela every even recently I put another 400 trees tse leng gore bile tsone ne ke kupile thuso mo mananong a ga government so ke na ka duela phato ya cost ya teng government antelela cost ya teng
dirangela jaaka mmemara matlakwana le lemedi fruits and vegetables of different kinds and types gore le khona re reach sela sela botswana maabane helane the cabinet in approve extension of vegetable importation by another 2 years.
Farmers were urged to utilize available government programs and develop their farming skills so that they could achieve the country's objective of boosting the food security. Lizzie Klaas, BTV News, Ditsetswana Lands in Gauteng district.
Cooperatives have been urged to expose themselves to platforms that could generate new markets. This was said by the chairman of Northwest Women in Business Association, Ms. Christina Leshero, during the inaugural meeting of Matsaudi Basketry Cooperative in Matsaudi. Marangani Samakata.
In addition to basketry production, Matsaudi Cooperative has a dream to grow and preserve the Mogolwane tree that is used to weave baskets and to also run a poultry business. They have therefore been advised to take advantage of platforms such as the Tourism Summit that could help them access new markets.
ka re go lokone re le teng goromente o na lekile ka bojothe gore a tise di investor mo Botswana di te di lebelele gore le tlhokang ga le tlhokeng le tshwana le ba koparase ya Matsaudi yana ne le sa palwela go ya mabele re kopa 20 million re mo kopela gore rage ratulo se se re senetsweng ke Save Life Foundation re be re dira merogo re be re dira di solar panel re be re dira se.
This project has so far cost more than 300,000 Bula.
Project ya Women Empowerment ya Matsaudi e le gore ba ka rotloetsa bo mme ba le gore ba na le talente e le gore ya buisega talente e le gore ke talente ya ngwao ya go supa bogake ba bona ba go beta le go roka tatana so re na ra nna tse re se ira re me kana bo mme kiba re ka ba thusa yang ke aka ene re ka simo ke aka ne re simolene project ya Women Empowerment mme ba ne ba lora bomme ba Matsaudi batsadi ba ne ba lora ba ne ba re na le lehatshe la rona le teng mme ke lehatshe le le hore ga lona sepe re na ra nna tse ra bona hore ka thusa yang.
Cooperatives have been urged to guard against conflicts.
Una selo se se kgawanye batho ngware ke nna a kere o se kgawanya batho a mongwe a ka re ke nna wa phati ya domokora ga ke dirile wa phati ya BCP ya ke a nna teng wa somoga a kere ke nna wa phati ya BCP wa domokora ga ke a nna teng wa UDC ya ke a nna teng mme ha dilo tse di ka tswa mo mahueng di a direla batho botlhe ka tekatekano la ipoka ka save le sa ipoke ka motho ka nna monate lo tele itse ntwe ke ya lona.
Projects like this one are said to be the realization of one of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which speaks to women empowerment. Maranyani Samakata, BTV News, Matsaudi.
In other news, Member of Parliament for Gabane Mankodi, Mr. Kagiso Musi, says it is important for churches to play a role in fighting challenges facing the nation, such as murders and gender-based violence. Mr. Musi expressed this recently at a Thanksgiving ceremony, which was organized by the Faith Gospel After Christ Church in Midzimutlabe. Priti Mokhwetsi.
The Faith Gospel After Christ Church was founded in the year 1949, and it has already spread throughout the country, as it now has 152 branches. Every year on this month, this church celebrates Thanksgiving Festival to appreciate God's protection throughout the year, as well as to raise funds for the development of the church. This year's festival was more purposed to seek for God's intervention in fighting societal ills that are currently taking a toll on this country.
Re umakiwa mo dikganyeng tse di tshesanyane mme ke batla go le kopa le banna ba modimo gore le lona emang ka dinao le bueng kgang eo ra bona gore go nna le tiriso botlhaswa ya bomme le bana ba ileng gore they come to our churches ba le mo dipitlaganong mme re rona kana modimo a re hile mpho re tshwanna ke gore re thuse batho bao e le gore jaanong rona re tsa advantage mo dipitlaganong tsa batho bao re be re ba dirisa
a kanyala re kgemethelela ngwana o 18 years a re leo ya o kopa botshabelo go gore na go botshabelo modimong kwa re tla nnang sentle teng mowa wa opela. Please moruti mogolo a betsa mosadi le bana moruti yo ka ba subetsa gore batho le rato ke eng. Relationships are not healthy. We need healthy relationships.
The role of churches in efforts to combat some social challenges in this country are greatly hailed, and the need for different stakeholders to join forces with government accentuated, considering that the government alone cannot win the fight.
Kereke jaaka ha re leboga jana ra re strategic partner to the government go thusa puso go lwantsha dikgwetlho dipe tse di leng the social ills matshwenyego a e leng gore a mekamekane le go lwantsha diemo tsa batho mme jaaka gampieno jana re bona seemo se dipula di seo re bona batho gona le diemo tse e leng gore di a tshwenya batho ba lela ke nna ko e le gore re le kereke re a re jaanong re tere kope modimo gampieno jana jaaka re tsile go leboga jana at the same time re tsile go rapelela lehatshe la Botswana
go lebega dilo tse di bosula di diragala dipalo tsa masula di golela ko pele go dipolano ha gare ga baratani go dipolano tsa batho ba dirisetswa dipheko hela jaaka honorable Musi atswang go tlhalosa.
Church leaders have been urged to be cautious of issues of gender-based violence, which are increasing, becoming prevalent in local churches. Priti Mokhwetsi, BTV News, Midzimutlabe.
Mr. Kagiso Qari, born and raised in Ucanagas in the Khansi South constituency, has made his village proud after walking away with the 2023 Mr. RADP fashion show title last month. A homecoming event was organized to honor him for hoisting the name of the village high and leaving a lasting impression in the community. Angela Enosa with more.
New Kanaga's residents welcoming Mr. Kagiso Tlhari, who was recently crowned Mr. RDP Fashion Show 2023. The 27-year-old has become the talk of the district and is being celebrated for walking away with the coveted title.
New Kanaga sene ka boene hela. O kgona go ikemela ile kgaolo. Ditso tsa gagwe hela. Di mo hitile. A war has been opened by him. All districts, bar lebelets, all companies, dir lebelets, or how are we going to assist this gentleman? Kare ka muthusa nka teng. Khwa gore tswala mosola re le Charles Zille.
The RADP pageant is meant to encourage inclusivity, illustrating to the youth in remote areas that they too deserve recognition, just as their peers in more developed areas.
Re tshwanetse ra leka go tsena gare ga batho le rona ka gore le rona re Batswana. Ra itshupa gore le rona re na le kitso, re na le talente, re ka dira.
Tlhari says he hangs up his crown with a bang, having started the journey way back in 2018.
Baba wa trainang skabari in haulu mo kempe total ana hani ka kilo mo kempe mulawa kempe ye e ka re ke ngwana hello monyenyane
ke itumela dirula ke ngwana ke itumela thata ke zonza ka re ke tsile go mmona ke mutumelela ka Kagiso batho.
The next few months will see Kagiso working with youth in areas very similar to where he originates, imparting the knowledge he will be equipped with through the trainings he is currently undergoing. Angela Nosa, PTV News.
The Director of Investigations, Policy and Research at the Competition and Consumer Authority, CCA, Mr. Ernest Baropi, says it is advisable for businesses to have complaint management systems, as this can ease processes when customers lodge complaints. The CCA organized a workshop on Monday in which they gave clarity to businesses on the kinds of services offered by the organization. Terry Makhoeng.
In the last financial year alone, the Competition and Consumer Authority reports to have received 1,403 complaints from customers, leading them to realize that the business community needs to implement mechanisms in their businesses which can reduce the number of cases reaching the CCA from consumers. At this workshop, business owners were advised to have communication and internal management systems in their entities to ease their dealings with consumers.
I think what is important out of this workshop is to realize that the business community has a responsibility and the consumer also has a responsibility. But however, the complaint comes towards the business almost all the time. So our assessment has been that majority of the complaints we receive, we will realize that there are issues that could have been addressed at retail level.
Business owners were also advised to take note of consumer feedback at all times, as that can help them realize and rectify their mistakes in the products and services they offer.
We should understand basically that these are primary customers of yourself. For us, they are secondary customers to us because they have chosen to buy from your establishment with confidence. So we are advocating that as long as the customer has chosen you to purchase from yourself, you have to take care of that customer through the process.
The business community also had an opportunity to share their views.
Okay, I can buy a sedan car, a normal car, take it to the bush,
load cement in it, and then hammer it and break the gearbox. And I come to Afro Motors that I bought from you 5 months and 25 days. I need my money back.
Without it. Because on that day, I'm throwing it away. I don't have any use for it. So it's always a problem. This thing has never been explained. I'm seeing it for the first time, so I don't know what these people are talking about. So these are the problems. Like he's saying, we're dealing with very caring customers.
This workshop was the first of the many that will be held to continually educate society, including the business community, on how to be consumer savvy to enhance a more advanced customer satisfaction environment in the business space. Terry Makhoeng, BTV News, Gaborone.
It is now time for sports with Tato Khosemoretiti.
Hello, Khumutso, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
The men's Lucky Charm.
It was a fantastic game to watch.
Yeah.
I think we are all proud of
Did you enjoy
the team. I did enjoy it. Thank you so much, TT.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Botswana Tonight sports segment brought to you by Tato Khosumre. Thank you for joining us and good evening. Let's jump straight into our top and exciting story. The women's national team, the Maize, are qualified for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, which will be held in Morocco next year after beating Kenya by a narrow score margin of 1-0 on the final second leg this afternoon at the National Stadium in Gaborone. This is the second time in which the Maize find themselves competing in the tournament after finishing in the semi-finals in last year's edition, still held in Morocco. Kagiso Molelekwa and Buitatelo Molaoleng compiled the report.
The Maize went into the encounter holding a slight edge after settling for a 1-1 draw away to Harambee Starlets last week, where Kitunzi Tebe scored the all-important away goal. This afternoon, it was a chance for the Maize to once again to go into the country history books, as they only needed a scoreless draw to ensure their path to AFCON 2024. However, both sides went out for the win but could not trouble the net in the first half. In the second half, Kenya had a golden opportunity to take the lead and put pressure on the home side after the referee awarded them a penalty in the 54th minute following a handball violation by Ndondi Matlasela. Goalkeeper Silembo Seja once again came to the rescue for the Maize as she saved Cynthia Masungu's spot kick to keep the Maize in the match. This seemed a spare on Alex Maleta's ladies, and Itebe combined well with Tholakele to hit the back of the net to lift the spirit of the fans at the National Stadium. Despite the pressure from the visitors, it was not enough as the Maize had on of a crucial 1-0 win, ensuring a path into their second appearance at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations tournament.
Because I was expecting us to go through, you know. Even when they had a penalty, I was saying this one is ours. Yeah, because we do a lot of preparation. If we were so unfortunate and we had to go to penalties, they were never going to score any penalty. We knew where every kicker is going to kick. So when it was a penalty, we said, oh, it's number 4. She's going medium right. And we had no problem. We had that information and preparation. It helps you to be calm.
We knew anything can happen. The penalty, we've worked on penalties at training, so we know when it comes to African football, they'll just give a penalty any day, any time. So we were prepared for that. We went there the first time. We can do it over and over again.
Botswana Football Association now have a huge task on their hands of preparing for a Guerrillian tournament next year in Morocco, looking to improve their quarter-final finish at last year's showpiece. Kagiso Molelekwa, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
Still with Maize victory, Botswana Football Association leadership says qualifying for AFCON for the second time in a row is a sign that investing in ladies football is slowly starting to bear fruit. According to BFA President McLean Leswitim, they will now need to step up their game to help the team better prepare for the upcoming tournament by fully engaging with various stakeholders to also enable ladies of football to develop at a rapid rate.
We could do much better if we had the funding to prepare the team to go and play at the AFCON. And I can tell you we'll go right through to the final with the necessary funding. We can't just say we don't have money We have to go into the market and get the money, especially with the girls that can give sponsors a lot of exposure by going to AFCON. I always say to people, if we want to qualify for the World Cup, we have to invest in women's football. And this is a typical example.
First of all, congratulations to the Mets. They've sacrificed, they've worked so hard to get here, and I'm so excited. On the ground, they are showing Maduats on. So now we have a lot of work to do. Qualifiers. Now to go and compete. And for us to compete, we need more friendly games. We need a proper camp. We need but I'm so excited. We are so happy to support women football, and that shows growth in Botswana, and I'm so excited. I'm happy for the team.
Before we part ways, let's take a look at our last story tonight. Former national team 400 meters star Nkabetse Mkobolo, who suffered a spinal injury after a car accident in 2020, has encouraged athletes to invest heavily while they are still active in sport to be able to look after themselves when they retire, so as to avoid their career coming to an end unexpectedly. Kamelo Munsusi reports.
The 2018 Gold Coast Commonwealth Games 4x4 relay gold medalist, who is also the 2019 Rabat Morocco All-Africa Games gold medalist, was involved in a car accident. While preparing for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, Nkobolo encourages athletes to save in order to secure their future.
It cost me a lot because now I'm using a wheelchair. At first I didn't use a wheelchair, you see, so I have to adapt and to open a new chapter of life, you see. It's difficult, but I'm coping and I'm trying to move on with my life and forget about what happened, you see. If you're an athlete, you invest your money in something that will generate income tomorrow when you are down or when you retire, because we don't know what will happen tomorrow for you, you see. So just invest and live the life that you were living before, you see.
The 2017 Bahamas IAAF World Relay 4x4 meter silver medalist thanked Botswana National Sports Commission for being supportive since the unfortunate incident, which left him wheelchair bound.
Botswana National Sports Council, they are trying to help me academically, because I was doing coaching level 1 in South Africa. They send me the fund everything, so now I want to focus in sports administration and coaching.
The former sprint sensation pleaded with various stakeholders to employ people with disabilities so that they can have a better life. Tlamelo Muntusi, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
And that's how we come to the end of Botswana Tonight Sports segment. Thank you for your time. Back to you, Khomotso.
Thank you so much, Titi. Until we meet again tomorrow, have yourself a fantastic evening, sir.
Same to you.
Thank you so much. That was Tato Khosimori giving us the latest in sports. Let's take a final look at stories leading the way this evening. Government committed to fostering progressive and cordial relations with workers' unions. The youth encouraged to seek out opportunities in the agricultural sector. And in sports, the Mets qualify for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations to be held in Morocco next year. That's all that we had in our news bulletin this evening. BTV News, Ikanya Rona. Hashtag BW Mindset Change. Changing. Up next is the weather update.
Good evening
and warm welcome to tonight's weather forecast brought to you by Lydia Wadikomo. It was very hot to extremely hot this afternoon over most parts of the country. We recorded highs of 41 degrees Celsius over Soa and Veda. Khansi joining and Lepepa we recorded 40 degrees Celsius. Francis Town, Silibepikwe, Gaborone and Sani we recorded maximums of 39 degrees Celsius. Looking at the current satellite image, clouds are visible over most parts of the country. Tomorrow expecting some showers over Ngamiland, Khanzi and Kgalagadi. Also expecting some partly cloudy conditions. In the morning, we're expecting mild temperatures over Francistown, Silibepikwe and Bloodjan with 12 degrees Celsius over Francistown, 15 degrees Celsius over Silibepikwe and Bloodjan. Warm temperatures expected over Ngwajan with 18 degrees Celsius. Also expecting hot temperatures ranging between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius. In the afternoon, we're expecting extremely hot temperatures over Ngamiland, Chobe, and Northern Central, ranging between 39 and 40 degrees Celsius. Also expecting very hot temperatures ranging between 36 and 38 degrees Celsius. As for the SADC region, partly cloudy conditions expected over Port Elizabeth with 22 degrees Celsius. Maseru expecting some thunder showers with 20 degrees Celsius. Manzini expecting some showers with 21 degrees Celsius. Antananarivo and Harare expecting some partly cloudy conditions with 32 degrees Celsius over Harare and 28 degrees Celsius over Antananarivo. Clear skies expected over Beira and Lusaka with 36 degrees Celsius over Lusaka and 31 degrees Celsius over Beira. I'm expecting some thunder showers with 30 degrees Celsius. Partly cloudy conditions expected over Blantyre with 29 degrees Celsius. That's the weather forecast. Good
batsadi ba buile ka ditsela tse di mo mokgwatheng mo kgaolong ya Lonai. Ditsela tse mo dingwageng tse di hitileng go simolola ka 2018-2019